everybody, welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I put together this beautiful, sharp, pointy, custom knife roll for my professional and personal needs. Coming up! So ever since I started this channel, I've gotten one request for a video more than any other, and that is to talk about my knives. Whether it's in the comments, people DMing me, the TikTok comments are full of just people asking me where I got this Carhartt knife set. People didn't know that Carhartt made knives. So today I'm gonna go through each of my knives, why I chose it, what I use it for, and hopefully you can put together a knife roll for yourself. As we speak, can you make a video about your knife kit? Can do, buddy. So to start things off, let's talk about the knife bag itself. This is a Carhartt tool roll. Not necessarily meant for holding knives, more meant for screwdrivers and wrenches, that kind of thing, but works pretty well for holding knives as well. Being a welding pitmaster hailing from the Northeast, I'm a big fan of Carhartt, so I thought this was a proper fit. And also this was a gift from a good friend, Evan Leroy, so thanks, Evan. The only downside to this knife roll is that it's pretty short, so any knife that's over 8 inches is gonna poke out the top. Not very safe, so probably gonna have to get a new bag here pretty soon. Maybe just keep this one around for the smaller knives. So if you guys have any suggestions on a new knife bag, let me know in the comments below. I lost the tip of this knife because of that. So if there's one knife I reach for more than any of the rest, it's got to be this one. This is the Shun Kiritsuke knife, which is very similar to their 8-inch chef's knife, which I've got right here. I used this knife for a long time. It's pretty beat up, so it's time for a new one. So then I saw this one, which is similar shape, similar size, cutting wise anyway. And I gotta say, I love it. This little notch right here just fits your finger perfectly for holding a knife properly, and makes cutting a dream. Also, when compared to the traditional chef's knife, this one's got a little less belly to it, which makes using this tip a little bit nicer. Really great for cutting onions, which is something I do quite often. So yeah, this is my go-to knife. I use this all day, every day. Highly recommend it. Shun make some really great knives. They're very sharp, really thin, but the best part about them is that they've got a 16-degree edge on them, which is crazy sharp and makes cutting through anything super precision and real easy. The only downside to that, though, is that because it's such a thin knife, it's also a really fragile and delicate knife. I've kind of chipped it up a little bit in certain spots, so I'm gonna have to take this to the stone here pretty soon. And because this knife is so fragile, that's why I have 2 chef knives in my bag. This is the Wusthof Ikon series 8-inch chef's knife. This thing is a workhorse. It's a lot thicker of steel and a much wider edge on it. Still very sharp, holds a really good edge, really ergonomically designed, but it can take much more of a beating. This is what I use for hard vegetables, cutting through ribs, breaking down chicken wings, anything that requires a lot of pressure or a lot of cutting power, I'll go for this. Another great benefit of having 2 chef's knives is that they last longer. You know, if I just put all the work into this one, it would go dull a lot quicker. Same with this one. So having 2 really makes the longevity of your knives last a lot longer. So precision, vegetables, delicate stuff, hard chomping, beat it up. Moving on. The second most used knife in my knife roll has got to be this, my red boning knife. This is a Victorinox 6-inch semi-stiff boning knife. Really not much to it. Real cheap knife, but it's been a part of my knife kit since the early days of 2015. And for me, there's really no other boning knife. This is, I'm just used to it. And I've tried some nicer ones. I bought this Shun boning knife, and I just didn't like it. Maybe it's just because I'm used to using this one, or because this one's got a wider blade on it. But I stick with these. These are real nice, real cheap, so easy to replace if they get dinged up or mess up sharpening them or something like that. But the real reason I like these is because of this rubberized grip on here. If you're cutting through cases and cases of briskets or 10,000 beef cheeks, there's a lot of moisture involved, and it can get real slippery, and I was kind of sliding all over the place with this, or if I used a Wusthof one. So these stay nice, get a really good grip, and yeah, I've got probably 10 of these floating around the house. I also have 2 of these in my knife bag because I keep one real sharp for trimming briskets and cheeks, and the other one is for breaking down hogs. They're real nice for doing the butcher grip and kind of breaking through spines and cutting through cartilage, that kind of thing. So again, one's kind of saved for precision, one's more of a workhorse. The newest addition to my knife roll is this. This is the Wusthof Cimeter Scimitar, and this thing is awesome. I got this mostly because it's like a sword, and I think it's really fun to play with. But also, it's really great for cutting steaks. I tend to buy big loins, whether they're strip loins or ribeyes, at the grocery store, and then cut my own steaks, however thick I'd like them to be, vacuum them up, keep them in the freezer. Or cutting pork steaks, this thing is really great. It's kind of like a gigantic boning knife. You can go in 1, 2, you get one really nice slice out of this, and that way you're not getting all those saw marks on big pieces of meat. Great knife, a lot of fun. Another knife I keep in my bag is this guy. This is a Icon series as well. This is a Wusthof 7-inch Santoku knife, and this is really great for vegetables. This thing has seen a lot of cabbage, a lot of kale, a lot of pickles, a lot of jalapenos. The reason I got it is because it's got these little dimples in the blade, and that helps veg not stick to the steel while you're cutting along. So if you're going through and cutting up a whole case of cucumbers or something, they just come off the knife easier instead of riding up it and clumping up and all that stuff. So doesn't get the most use. I'm usually dealing with meat, but if I was just a home cook, I probably wouldn't have all these knives, but because I use these knives at home and at work, there's a knife in my hand for like 50 hours every week, so having a variety makes things very nice. Then moving down the line here, I've got the old garlic crusher. I got this basically because I'm a Brad Leone fanboy, and he kept talking about how much he loved this thing. So I found one on eBay a while back and I picked it up. And I gotta say, it's really cool. It's really thin. It's a lot like a cleaver, but it's thinner. So you can actually get some really nice precision with it. Works as a bench scraper, you know, and really great for crushing garlic. Like this guy a lot. It's really great for vegetables. It's kind of like a Chinese cleaver style. Yeah, pretty cool knife. Then last but not least, I always keep this guy in my knife bag because this is the first and only knife I ever built myself. I bought a piece of knife grade steel, cut it down, made this handle, put a really nice sharp edge on it. It was a fun little project. Gotta get back into it. But this is a carbon steel knife, which is the only one I've got in here. And these are really great knives too. They can hold a really sharp edge on it. But the only problem is they patina up and they can rust really badly. This knife is very clean. It's just got that stained metal look. And some people really like that. But for me, because I use these knives all the time, I recommend sticking with stainless. Maybe one day I'll get back into making knives. Expect that video in the distant future. A few other knives that I don't keep in my knife roll because they won't fit or I don't use them very often is, of course, the bread slicer. You've seen this. This is perfect for slicing briskets, cutting up ribs. This is kind of the barbecue knife. Also works really well as a bread knife, who'd have thought. But this is your classic scalloped, dimpled, serrated bread knife. Highly recommend. I also have a cleaver. This kind of lives at Leroy and Lewis. This is great for breaking down hogs, cracking through bones. A good cleaver comes in handy more often than you'd think. We make chicharrones a lot, and I have to dice up a bunch of skin, and having a big, thick cleaver like this makes easy work of it because it's such tough skin. The weight really helps you get a nice dice on it. This is a Dexter Russell cleaver. Don't need anything too fancy, but again, I got it because I really like this plasticky grip on there. You don't want this thing flying all over the place. Love a good cleaver. A few other tools I always keep in my knife roll is, first and foremost, a marker. This is just your classic Sharpie. This is a Sharpie Pro. I have these because I use them in the welding shop because they're grease proof, which also works out really nice for barbecue because things get a little greasy. Then, as always, thermometer, Thermopen. Yeah, it's that hot right now. This thing is great. It's a pro. I can trust it. This is what the health department uses as well, so I know it's good stuff. I keep a microplane in my bag. I don't know why. I very rarely use it. It just, when you need it, it comes in handy, but I rarely need it. It's great for nutmeg or throw some garlic on there, zest a lemon or something like that. Probably take it out of the bag. Down the line here, a good veg peeler is always nice. This is a Oxy Good Grip one. I like this style as opposed to the wider style because you can go back and forth on like a carrot or something like that. Make quick work of it. Some good poultry shears, kitchen shears are a must for taking spines out of chickens, cutting up wings, anything like that. A good pair of shears comes in real handy dandy. And that's it. That's what's living in my knife roll currently. I try to switch it up every now and then. I'm always on the hunt for good new knives because I'm a bit of a knife guy, whether it's pocket knives or kitchen knives. Can't seem to get enough. A few of you have asked about my pocket knife too. This is the Microtech Ultratech OTF. I just like it because it's kind of fancy, but mostly because it's one-handed, which is real nice. Open and close. Kind of too flashy though, so you got to keep it on the down low. When it comes to sharpening knives, first thing you need to do is get yourself a knife steel. These are super handy, especially if you're doing a lot of chopping, and it's real simple. You just realign the edge every now and then, every few times you're cooking, just go through. You're not taking off any steel, you're just kind of realigning the microscopic tip. And I know a thing or two about a microscopic tip. Sorry. But every 6 months to a year, you do have to put a new edge on, and that's when you reach for your trusted whetstone. This is just simple 1,000, 6,000 sides, start rough, finish, nice and fine, run it on your steel, good to go. Also, if I ever have chipped knives or I need to put a new tip on something, what I'll do is I'll bust out the little 1-inch sander. This thing, a little belt sander. This thing is really great because it's got this little angle guide on it, so you can start with some really high grit sandpaper and work your way all the way up to this, which is a leather strop wheel. Gets a really razor sharp edge on there. So this is also what I use to make this little knife. All right, guys, and that is it. That is what I keep in my knife bag. Like I said, it kind of rotates around. Sometimes different tools come in depending on the season and depending on what we're cooking at Leroy and Lewis. Again, if I was just a home cook, I wouldn't use all of these knives. I'd probably just stick to the 2 nice chef's knives, a boning knife, and the scissors are a real nice touch too. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you now can go out and build your own knife set for your specific needs. I'll have links in the description for all these knives if you want to pick up any of these. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. Hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, all those good things at ChudsBBQ as well for more content. I also just launched my new website, ChudsBBQ.com, where you can find all the information on pits, weight lists, smokers, all that good stuff. So hit that up as well. Let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see me cook next. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!